Hello and welcome to another exciting episode of System Kids.
Every week for 1 hour, System Kids tells it like it is for kids in care.
Kids need to be taught to use their voice.
Today, one story in particular is top of mind, especially for this former child in care.
You know, you shouldn't let a child linger in a home where they could be being abused. That's just not acceptable.
In a secret recording obtained by CBC News, the director of foster care of a private for-profit company, B&L Resources, admits it took too long to separate children from their abuser after allegations of sexual abuse emerged in one of its homes.
And I think we dragged our heels big time. We really dragged our feet.
The meeting was recorded by a case manager, frustrated, she says, that her appeals to protect the children weren't taken seriously.
We literally just left those kids to sit there and be victimized.
The admissions are frank and disturbing.
The damage is done. It's been sort of ongoing for probably as long as the kids have been there. But our role, and according to the Act, is that once we are aware, then we have to act.
Child welfare investigators eventually confirmed the allegations were true. A minor in the home was sexually abusing other children in care. The foster agency says decisions about the safety and placement of children rest with the Child Welfare Authority that hired them. In this case, that's Métis Child and Family Services. It says it acted as soon as it learned of the allegations, but it won't say when that was. That's not good enough for one of the biological parents who says the children's Métis CFS worker was told of abuse allegations months before they ever came up at B&L. Whatever really happened is about to be put under the child advocate's microscope.
So we will be opening a file on it and looking into what happened.
Manitoba's Minister of Child and Family Services has the power to ask the director of CFS to investigate. For now, she's standing back and watching.
If it warrants that type of direction, we will consider those at the time. We will always put the health and safety of children in our province first.
Back in the System Kids studio, one hard truth.
When you remove a child from their birth family and you place them in a foster home or a group home, you expect that you're putting them in a safe place. And you know, if the place where they're supposed to be receiving protection isn't protected, then you know that's absolutely heartbreaking.
And Katie joins us now. Katie, the kids in this case, can you tell us how they're doing?
Well, we can tell you that they were separated from their abuser and that all the children involved have received some counseling, and we are told that they are currently in good placements.
When we hear that the child advocate is opening a file, what exactly does that mean?
Well, it's not the same as an investigation. It's all very preliminary, but where can it go? That's the question. The advocate has the right to interview anyone involved in the case and review documents. The advocate can decide to have a formal investigation that can result in a special report that can make recommendations to child welfare agencies. Now, the rub is we may never be able to see the special reports because of the sensitive nature of what they probe, unless the advocate decides it is in the public interest to see those special reports and the recommendations. Adrian?
Okay, thanks, Katie. Katie Nicholson in Winnipeg tonight. Now, as Katie said, Manitoba's Minister of Families does have the power to step in, but so far she says she won't. We wanted to know why.
I believe it's been a very, very rare circumstances, if any, at this stage that that route has taken place. And it has to be under very serious circumstances.
Here's how it works. B&L Resources is hired by a child welfare agency which reports to something called Métis CFS Authority, which, like all child and family services authorities, ultimately gets its funding from the province. B&L, for example, received more than $50 million over the last 5 years from the province.
We work with the authorities who have the authority over this jurisdiction. But we will, and to ensure that they have the tools that they need to ensure the safety of children in our province.
That could make it sound like the province funds but doesn't have power here, and that's not entirely so. Manitoba law states clearly that the Minister of Families is responsible, in part, for establishing policies and standards relating to a child's safety and security, and monitoring and assessing how authorities carry out their responsibilities.